Rolling. Action. Sucio.Talk. Hanging out. Yangban Society. Right? Did I say that right?
Yangban.
Hell no. Yangban. I'm just disrespecting.
Yang
I'm sitting here. Yangbang, baby. That sounds like a category on Pornhub.
Right.
Yeah. I'd like Yangbang for 2.
Yeah.
Hanging out with Chef Katianna Wiener. Katianna Hung. And John Hung of Yangban Society. Chefs, how are you?
We're good, man.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to have you on the show finally. I've talked about you quite a bit on the show.
I haven't heard, so
yeah. No, I get it.
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, it's fine. No. But yeah.
Is that what this is?
They just, I mean, you guys are the originator of the name Dirty.
Indeed.
So,
Dirty Dave.
The reason why this is known as Sucio.Talk is because of you guys. So, thank you very much for the name.
Humbling.
Thank you for being dirty.
Oh, yeah. For sure. So, how you guys doing, man? You guys are about to open up Yangban Society. How does that feel?
It feels great.
Yeah. How long has it been to the journeys to up until now, like from inception to now?
Well, I guess you can say it's been in its inception for quite some time now. I mean, from our time at Meadowood and some of the initial kind of ideas and thoughts that we put in the air till now. So I'd say it's been about 6 years in the making.
Got you.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Heard that.
And then we've been in the space, what, a year? A little over a year now?
We've been in the actual space for a little over a year. I want to say,
yeah.
A year and a couple months.
So it's been
now.
a while.
Yeah.
A while in the making.
Got you. Do you guys feel fucking like so ready to open, or are you guys like, please never come?
Yes and no. Yes and no. And that, like, it just needs to happen. And I think, like, a lot of chefs, you kind of thrive off of adrenaline. And so we need that. We're waiting for that. We're ready to just go. But are we, like, 100% happy and like secure and ready to go? No. I think we would like tinker as long as you could.
100%.
You know? You continue to just change things.
I think stylistically this is something that we've never really fully explored. This has all been theoretical until now. And then, putting these things on paper are very different than cooking, tasting, eating it in a dining room, eating it in a restaurant that you've, once again, only your head really imagined.
Gotcha.
So really kind of putting those things together and really having some solid feedback has been good for us, but it's taken time, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we've had a bunch of setbacks, as everyone has, getting this space to where we wanted it, but, we've really taken advantage of having that time to really understand what we're trying to do here and really the direction we want to take things.
Yeah. So it's been sort of finding yourselves.
Absolutely. It's been a very explorative process. Honestly, as much as we've tried to structure it, it's been really organic. I think it's the universe telling us things will be ready when they are, and not just the materials, but our story and kind of what we're trying to say has kind of come more and more together.
Yeah. Had there been another opportunity in your career where you could have opened a restaurant and maybe turned it down or weren't ready, or is this sort of just like the first time that you guys are even considering doing something like this? Other than, I guess, Chef Kat, you opened the charter oak. Yeah. But
I think, the ego says that we could have done this multiple points in our career.
Yeah.
I think every 2-3 years you're like, I can open a restaurant. I can do that. And then you get humbled very quickly.
Yeah.
When you do some dumb shit and you're not.
Yeah.
I think that both of us went into this craft field to do things quote unquote the right way.
Yeah.
Really take our time, make sure that we're ready to take that leap. And I think this opportunity came when we were actually ready to open a restaurant.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it feels, at least.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes I'm like, man, I should have started this podcast 10 years ago. But I'm like, ain't nobody want to listen to 10 years ago, Dave.
No,
not at all.
Certainly not.
They're like, I've heard that before. Right. I don't want to. But, on this show, we're going to take it all the way back to when you were niños and niñas. So, Chef Kat, we'll start with you. Where were you born?
I was born in South Korea.
Okay. Dope. Obviously, you live in the United States. So how did that all happen?
When I was 3 months old, I was adopted by a family in upstate New York, and I came to the U.S.
Okay. So you were born or raised in upstate New York. What was that upbringing like?
Interesting. I mean, it was good. It was a cute, semi-quiet little town, like 20, 30 minutes from Albany.
Yeah.
Which is the big capital.
Okay.
Not really.
Gotcha.
But,
I've never been.
You've never been?
No.
Oh. Yeah, it's cool. But, so I grew up in a suburb, but, I have fond memories of, like, going to New York City a lot as a kid. And my parents took me to, like, Broadway shows. But then at the same time, I got to live in the suburbs and be around a lot of farming. And so it was nice. It was a very nice upbringing.
Yeah. What was your adopted family's background?
So my maiden name is Weiner. My dad is Jewish.
Okay.
My mom is Irish Catholic, I believe. So yeah, we had a pretty well-rounded, interesting household.
Gotcha. When you were younger, how were you guys eating? Were you going out to eat? Was mom cooking? Dad cooking?
So we went out to eat quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I have very fond memories of restaurants. I've always loved eating out in restaurants.
Yeah.
We did eat out quite a bit. My dad really likes cooking. So I have a lot of memories of his, like, roasts. He likes meat and potatoes. So, a lot of, like, roasts, I guess. And roast. No.
More roast and more roast.
Roast. And some canned vegetables in there in between.
In the roast.
So he did a lot of the cooking. My mom, actually, in her defense, does not enjoy cooking, but, also made a lot of nice meals for us.
Gotcha.
But, like, really, to be quite honest, I didn't like a lot of the food at home. There was, like, no spice.
Yeah.
A lack of flavor,
yeah.
I guess
no
you'd say.
Salt.
So I was kind of raised on Chinese takeout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
And then, of course, at a certain point, I started cooking for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were a gymnast coming up, right, through school?
I was.
Okay.
I was.
How did that all you need an activity, so they put you in gymnastics?
Yeah, my parents put me in gymnastics. They said, I think it was actually a Burger King.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself. So
Burger King.
At a Burger King, apparently. Do you remember the aisles at Burger King?
Yeah.
Like the gold railings? And
Yeah.
Anyways, I'd be like
Everyone
swinging
thinks they're a
on
gymnast.
Yeah.
Because I'm like...
Well, mine was special.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I'd be like swinging around and hanging, and they said like get a running start and like tumble over a couch. I was just very active, so they put me in gymnastics.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How long did you do gymnastics for?
Quite a while. I think maybe till I was like 15 or 16. For a gymnast, that's old, by the way. Like, you typically hit your peak or like your prime in your early teens. So like a lot of Olympian gymnasts, I think they're what, like 14, 15.
Really?
Is that even legal? They're very young.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of like my younger years doing competitive gymnastics.
And like, were you training hardcore for it?
I was very into it. I was in competitive gymnastics, but maybe, yeah. I mean, I was training hard. Gymnastics is tough because it's an individual sport.
Yeah.
And it's stressful. We had like a Russian coach. They, I don't know what they do now.
Yeah. They were just roasting
yell
you
at
the whole time. Yeah.
You're
like 12
tell you
years
you're
old.
Fat,
like, damn,
tell you
really?
you need to go on a diet. So it was intense, I would say. Like, and that was just my experience. But yeah, it was intense. But then I realized, like, looking back, I think the way I remember it is perhaps because of like the pressure that I put on myself.
Yeah.
And maybe not as much technically what was actually happening. Like, those things are happening. It's a stressful environment.
Yeah.
But I think I'm definitely a person that intensifies stress.
100%. Yeah. So, when do you get out of that? Mm-hmm. When do you get out of gymnastics?
I quit at some point, and it's actually embarrassing because I had like an injury, and I think I like used that as a segue to be like, I can't do this anymore.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I was done. I wanted to have a life because when you do gymnastics as a kid, you practice all the time. You miss like birthday parties, like I'm gonna date myself again, roller skating parties.
Yeah. Hanging out at the rolling rink, roll bounce over here.
That's where the good stuff happens. The making out.
Yeah.
And all that. Anyways, But I'd miss that because you go right into practice. You spend a lot of your summers doing training. Like I said, some girls follow like a strict diet. And while you make friends there, it's a little isolating. I'd say you definitely miss out on just like some of the chill things about being a kid. Yeah. So when I quit, I just like rapidly made up for that time.
Got you. And then were you still in high school when you left?
A little ahead of high school, yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. What was your first job?
I think my first job was at the Country Drive-In, and it's like a little stand that's only open in the summers, and they had like soft serve and French fries and fish fry and like the Country Drive-In.
Yeah. So you were just in the shits with...
And I worked the fryer station, and it was literally the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
and I smelled like shit. And are you allowed to swear?
Yeah, that's fine.
I smelled like shit. Not cute at all.
Yeah.
Just kind of gross. Just doing a lot of frying. There were like 8 huge baskets, and they had a screen, and you literally just fry shit all night.
Yeah.
Fish, onion rings, like French fries. So like nobody wants to do that. All the other girls work the ice cream area.
Yeah.
And they're like doing ice cream and toppings and talking to boys and shit.
Yeah.
And I worked the fryer, and I loved it.
Yeah, you're all burnt up.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that was going to be like, oh man, I love cooking? Or like,
no.
You just like to fry?
No, I just really oops, there's my potato timer.
Go ahead, get those potatoes,
I'll be
Chef.
right back.
It's all good. She asked me if this was going to be disruptive, and it absolutely is. It's just 100%. It's horrible. So I went and looked at that video of the verses with Bone Thugs and them. Dude, that's crazy.
Busy Bone got a little upset.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you want to do, man? It's a lot of heat up there.
Right.
I'm glad that they were able to continue the show.
Man.
You know, it shows a lot to where hip hop has come. Because if it was 1995, there would have been 2 gunshots and it would have been done, and then J-Lo would have gone to jail, something like that. Versus with Bone Thugs and 3-6 Mafia, crazy. Anyways. Back to gymnastics or frying fries at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch the movies while you fried the fries?
No, there's no movie. It's just called the Country Drive-In. It's like a
is that even a theater?
Stand. No. But I saw in this town, in Clifton Park, in that area, in upstate New York, in the summer, it's only open, in nice weather through the spring, and then in the summer, people flock to it. So it's kind of cool because you see everybody from school there, but then also not because your parents come by. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my kinda first job.
Hey, cat.
Yeah.
And you're like, please leave.
Please go. Exactly.
So as you're nearing the end of high school, how do you decide what you wanted to go to for college, basically? What's the next step for you?
I went to a private girls' school.
Okay.
And a lot of people were doing Ivy League and they're very smart. I got in a lot of trouble there.
Yes.
So
I think you told me about this. Your roommate was from Connecticut. Something like that.
Well, that was different. I spent a year in Connecticut at one point.
I got
in my teen years.
Got you. Teen jail.
Being disciplined.
That's another episode.
Yeah.
That's
a whole other story. No, so I went to private girls' school. Anyways, a lot of girls were doing Ivy League, and they were all very smart and scholastic. And so I just, people brought up that maybe I should consider culinary school.
Right.
My parents took me on a tour at CIA. That's not. Why is that funny? Well, I was
scholastic, and then it's you should do culinary school.
Well,
maybe you should cook.
Right.
Well, that's what happened. I wore a lot of makeup. I was over tanned, and I didn't necessarily fit in at the Albany Academy for Girls.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I'm like, this is embarrassing. At that point in my life, I just didn't want to wear the checkered pants.
Right.
Mainly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Well, it was a huge factor.
I was in high school in the VOTEC program for culinary, and I wore the checkered pants every day,
That's
everywhere,
not cool,
to the mall. Bro, I thought they looked good with the Converse.
Ooh,
I was like, damn, I look good. I look fly.
No.
Oh, man, it was so dope.
Did it work?
Huh? No, not at all.
Yeah, no.
Not at all. No, you just look like a fry cook. You know what I mean? You look dirty, even though you're not.
Yeah, so I went to school for something. I don't know. I applied to a lot of schools and they're like, you know, you pick your major when you apply, which is crazy to me now. How do you